Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Finding Your Voice platform, where we get everybody together from all over the world and we come to one place where we can connect in a time of absolute social disconnection and global lockdowns around the world. I am Laura, and today we have a very special guest, Rania Fayyad. She is a health and life coach trained in the habit change coaching method. She helps people to unwind from self-defeating, health-destroying, negatively impacting behaviours and patterns, and works to stabilise them into ones that promote long-lasting health. Rania, thank you so much for coming on board today, all the way from Australia.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Laura, for the introduction. Yes, all the way from Australia. I'm Australian Lebanese originally, been here in Australia for around 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have a nutrition background myself before, so I have studied it as a bachelor degree, and came to Australia, didn't have the chance to work in it. I also worked around in the education field. Currently, I am a support teacher for special needs. So yeah, and I added to my expertise the part of the life and health coach, just because I think it does come naturally to me. Like I'm working with the special needs, and being like, I'm a very sociable person, and people connect, like I love to connect with people. So I thought, why don't I add to that passion of mine and do something that would be helpful in this regard? So hence I decided to do the life and health coaching. And because I have the nutrition background, it was a no-brainer for me to, do that. And probably the life coaching was an extra, but it definitely is perfect and working well with everything now that's happening, especially in these stressful situations. You definitely need someone to talk with and help you out if you are in a stressful situation or anxious or worried, or you're anxious or worried about anything. So yeah, we're all here to help.
I love that. What an amazing, colourful background you've got. So you're a support teacher for special needs children.
Yes.
I can only imagine that there must be a lot more special needs for them that's going on in a time now when COVID-19 is striking us on a global scale. We were just talking earlier, and you said that while in New Zealand we're in lockdown currently, but you're saying that you weren't in lockdown yourself quite yet. You could decide if you wanted to be in lockdown right now, but you were being required to still go and work.
Yes. So it's a bit of a different situation here in Australia. We are currently asked to stay at home once we can, but definitely, with the essential workers, the healthcare workers are still in the front line and going to their work. And us teachers have to keep the schools open just because the kids of these essential workers, have to go somewhere, especially if they have elderly or their grandparents can't take care of them during that time. With the whole idea of the COVID, they're trying to keep everyone safe, and those who are vulnerable, try to keep them, immune, away from any danger of any sort. So hence the schools are still open, and the government is always saying we'll never turn anyone away if they want to come to school. So yes, we are still going to schools. And for us, it's a bit for me, it's a bit of a hard situation. Our kids are vulnerable enough. They have no idea what social distancing means. They cannot understand how this works. They don't understand personal space, so they're all in your face all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation. We're trying to work around the whole idea to make it as comfortable as possible for those people who cannot really leave their kids at home. But yeah, I would love if we have that lockdown going down soon, so that we can all be in the safe zone.
Yeah, because I can imagine, with everybody currently in the world, even if we don't talk about it, there is something inside of us that's a little bit fearful of this, because we don't know
Definitely.
where it is. We don't know when it's going to strike. It's like the invisible ninja in the middle of the night, like we're kind of on edge just a little bit. And I can imagine that, just like our emergency workers, our essential workers, should
Mm,
I say, when you're being called in to go and work, and like you say, you're working with a particular population group who doesn't understand, and how unfair would it be to suddenly not to distance yourself from them?
mm.
They would be like, what's going
What's
on?
happening? Mm,
Don't you love me anymore? And then you're going to have to deal with all that, because they might not be in the place or space where they could interpret exactly what it is
exactly.
you know
We
so
are trying our best, though. We are, especially with the special needs kids, it's always good to have that social story going on and
mm,
visuals used. So we tried as much as we can to have that social story done for them, showing them that this is a picture of the virus, and saying that this like it's the cousin of the flu and stuff like
mm,
that, in terms that they will understand. And
mm,
what are we required to do as much as we can, and we're trying to enforce it as much as possible. But yeah, like we still have to do what we are all supposed to do, the hygienic practices, like washing your hands often, keep that
mm,
sanitizer within reach, and try to they already know about the how to cough and not to use your hands and stuff like that. So
mm,
yeah, we're trying as much as we can, but as you said, it's a very hard thing, especially when we have to come back home and you don't know, kids can be carriers, but they don't show, and asymptomatic, they say.
mm.
So you never know if you are actually having the virus or not with them.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is just do the right thing when we come back home, leave the shoes out, sanitize the moment we come in, put our clothes up out in the air for to freshen them up and stuff like that. So that's the thing that you can do in this situation.
Mm,
But at the same time, we need not to stress as well. Like, I mean, stress can the build-up of stress can cause a lot of like ripple effect eventually, and it will affect your family, affect everyone around you as well. So we just need to work around the situation in
mm.
the most feasible way and less stressful way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I picked up, I have a set of cards that it's called,
Mm,
I've got it down on the floor: the universe has your back.
yes,
And the universe could be God, it could be Buddha, it could be whoever it is that you look up to, that which is greater than ourselves. And I was like,
definitely.
and so I did a bit of a shuffle, and I kind of went, tell me what it is that I need to hear right now, please. Tell me, tell me, tell me. And I have a card, and it's just up here, I'll show you. And what it is, we're just talking about fear. Okay. And if
Mm,
you think
mm,
about fear, there's a certain energy that's involved with fear. And so if we're
definitely.
feeling fear the whole time, we're putting out that energy of fear, which then brings more things to us that will give us a reason to feel more fear, right? Whether it's in
Exactly.
our thoughts, or whether it's in something we see, or maybe now social media suddenly, packing out all the things that make us feel really, really fearful. It's because we're coming from a place of fear, and the universe or the environment or whatever is responding with things that
Mm,
keep reinforcing.
definitely.
And this card over here, it looks like it's backwards
Yes.
now, right? But it actually says energy flows where my intention goes.
Yeah.
And if we think about that, I was just like, I like that, because I didn't actually think I was going to talk about it now, but who knows why that happened. But, if you think about where your intention goes, you're in a situation where your intention could go to fear every day that you have to step outside into public with people who you don't know whether or not they're doing,
Yeah.
what you've been advised to do. And you're walking into this, you could be stepping into a place of fear every single day.
I agree, but it's our choice of how to deal with the situation. So it's
Absolutely.
all about your attitude and how you embrace the whole situation. And that's what I'm trying to always tell people around me, or through my post, through my page, and I always try to encourage people to look, to maintain perspective, to try to embrace life as it is, and think about, like, for example, people are seeing themselves locked in as a big thing, as a big hassle. How are they going to homeschool? How are they going to sit at home and stuff like that? But then if they look at it on the picture, in a bigger picture, saying that you're trying to like you are providing a service to the community by you staying home, in that way you are trying to like do your part in the part of the flattening the curve. So if you think about it this way, it will feel much better within you, you know. The same thing is that as you said, where your energy goes, or like where you focus, where you where you focus, like whatever you focus, this is where it grows, as you said. And if you're going to focus on stress, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be anxious. Nothing is going to be helpful in that regard. Whereas if you just look at it and just take deep breaths, you know, we have all these little tips that we can help people just to be present in the moment. You know, few exercises of like meditation and journaling is very important for me as well. Breathing exercises. The moment you breathe and you have that, just a moment, like, you know, you're back in present, you look at it from a different perspective. You just like, you have gone out of the situation a little bit and trying to look at it from a different perspective. Whereas if you're in the situation, keeping dwelling on the thing, I encourage everyone to just not think that way, not to dwell on stuff, maybe take a break. I know we can still go for a walk outside, so that would be good, to be out in nature and just have a bit of a reflection. But yeah, it's all about your attitude, it's all about your choice of how you want to deal with it. It's like, it's this easy, really. It is simple if you just really think about it's how you are going to react to this situation.
Exactly. Now, you've been trained up in the habit change coaching method. So let's just talk about habits for a second. Now, habits are those automated things that we do all the time, and that actually serves to help us to function every day, and helps to clear our brain of going, okay, now I need to think about how to brush my teeth, right? I need to do, okay, we don't have to think about all that stuff. We don't have to think about how to make a coffee. We don't have to think about how to make breakfast, or, you know, how to shower or anything like that. These are all automated things that we just do. And we've also got routine. So our routine is a habit, right? There's a whole lot of things now. On another scale, with all of that set aside, we've also got habits in how we think. So we've got habits, and, you know, I've got a default habit of always thinking the worst, or I have got a habit of always not listening to, you know, when people try to reframe something to make it positive for me, or I have got a habit of sabotaging all my efforts. You know, first of all, how do we identify what these self-defeating habits are that we're doing, and then where do we start? How do we start to unpack what our habits are, and to then go, I need to change these, and how do I do it? And we could talk for days on this topic, I understand, but what's the nutshell?
So it's more of, you know, you need to acknowledge first whatever you're feeling. I think, you know, just sit with yourself and say, okay, I'm angry, I'm stressed, I'm upset, and you know, and understand that you're okay to feel that. But if you can just sit with yourself and just say, all right, what I'm angry that, and just write it down and try to think about like what's causing all these feelings that you're going through. And try to look at them, and eventually, like, probably the moment you just jot them down, it's already out of your system in a way or another. So the first thing is acknowledging whatever feeling you're having. I think for me, it's that once you need to stop and saying, okay, what am I doing here? This is not, you know. And then as you jot them down, for me, you might think, okay, that's fair enough. I'm angry that this is happening. I'm angry that I have to, you know, for those people who had to be stood down, for example, and so forth. But then if they, as you said, with the idea of reframing, and then you think about, okay, what about now I'm saying the positive stuff, like I'm blessed that, I'm grateful for, or I'm thankful that, I'm happy that. And then once you jot down all these positive things that like you are reframing, you're training your brain now to think of the other side of the thing. And probably then it does take practice. It doesn't happen quick enough. I mean, it doesn't need practice. You need to be always, that's why sometimes having an accountability person helps out a lot in this case. You need to have that person that you can talk to straight away when you're feeling that low at some stage. And that's how your accountability person, probably it can be someone you really trust. It can be your life coach, your health coach, or just a person that you think will help you in your situation. And that person should redirect you and try to reframe the way you're thinking. And it does take a while, but you have to have that kind of, again, like you have to break that routine that you're going through, and realizing when is that you are self-sabotaging, or when is that you're feeling anxious, that you are stuck, you're having that panic attack. You need to stop what you're feeling and move to do something else, just to take out things. So if you're feeling that panic attack, just stop, walk away, or sit down and write them down. Just let it out, go. Don't let them stay in. Don't let them, like, don't dwell on them and keep in that cycle. You know, you need to acknowledge that what you're going through, and then decide what to do eventually with it. Yeah. As you said, it's a bit of a long, you cannot say everything now in this little video. It's a whole method. It's a whole long process, but it starts from somewhere. But you need to acknowledge what you're going through, because some people are just in denial and they don't know what they're going really through.
Yeah, and I think that's I'm just going to write down that, Niall. I think when we're looking at habits, right, there's a saying, it takes 21 days to break a habit. Well, I think for me, depending on the habit, and depending on how much you really want to have that habit, smoking, drinking, cake eating, not exercising, you know, whatever your habit is, feeling sorry for yourself, stopping yourself from achieving greatness because you're going to sabotage yourself. You're just going to be like, why I'm not self-worthy enough, you know, why would I be so special as to be able to keep my job, for example? Okay, so so you sabotage yourself. But I like to think about when you're looking to change a habit, it's a lot like going, well, I've been thinking this one way the whole time, right? It's this wide. This is how. In fact, I have a four-wheel drive vehicle track, almost a highway going through the bush, and this is where I've walked every single day.
Every single day.
And it's familiar, and I know that the path is clean, and it's incredibly easy for me to do. Changing a habit is very much like going, hey, that's great, but I don't like this path anymore. I'm just now going to go and walk through all this dense bush, and I'm going to try and work my way through it, and I'm not always going to be able to get to where I want to go, and I'm going to want to come back onto this big fat track because it's easy. But at some point you're going to be like, well, it's more important for me now to go to this new destination, but through this track. And the more you walk along this little track, going through the bush,
you'll find out
the trees and all this other kind of stuff, that path will get thicker and thicker and thicker and wider, and you'll come in there with your, you know, your saw and your chainsaw, whatever it is, and you will forge a new path till eventually that path takes you via the, you know, you get the better scenery, maybe you meet some new people along this path, you know, and that becomes your more enjoyable path, to the point where the main highway that you have been traveling through the bush is now getting overgrown. You're not walking there anymore. And you can't say that I'm going to go and build this track in a day.
Of course.
It's not feasible in terms of time, energy, the space you've got, and the mental capacity and your resilience and everything. So when anybody who's listening is looking to change a habit, if we were to use that analogy or that imagery, and we go, you know what, I am forging this new track, I'm creating new neural pathways in my brain, and it's going to take a little while because my default is always going to send me on this main track, and I have to just, you know, have some conviction and some perseverance and some determination, and I'm just going to keep pushing through the trees here. You know, so and I love what it is that you're doing, because right now there's going to be a bunch of people that are just gunning it along this big easy track, and it's not always to the best destination that we want it to be, right?
Exactly. And I'd just like to add that you have mentioned something as well, like in order for you to move to that, to decide to change to the probably venture a new way, you need to have a very, we didn't mention a motivating factor. What's like, you have probably reached a state that I need to change, like this is not serving me anymore. I need to change. And that's when you have to go deep enough and say, why do you need that change? And that would keep you going, you know, because we do have that self-sabotaging moments eventually throughout that's very normal. For anyone seeking change, it's very normal that you go through that self-sabotage. And it's very normal that you're going to be fearful of what's going to be the end result, or the anxiety will be high. But that's also, and then fear sinks in, but that's it. That's the excitement on pause. We say that so fear is excitement on pause. So go through it. I would like suggest that whatever you're trying to do, the moment that you have acknowledged what you're going through and deciding to change, keep pushing through, and definitely ask for help, because you are not there alone, and we are all here to help anyone in need, especially in these times now where your anxiety levels can be very high. It's very important that people reach. And as you said, it's with the whole social distancing things, the human connection, we are not having it anymore. Like, I'm a hugger. I'm finding it really hard.
Let's hug, virtual hug, yay.
So
I love that.
is, you know that human connection, that bit of a squeeze, it does help release lots of, you know, emotions, and it helps you calm down in a way or another. So in terms of, and in these times where we are not able to do that, I do encourage lots of connection via the technology that we have. Like, this is very important. I'm in touch. I mean, living now in Australia, and my parents and family is still in Lebanon. I am relying on that technology. I'm using FaceTime every day, WhatsApp videos, or voice messages. And it does help. It does help a lot, because, you know, just sharing what you've been doing throughout the day, or saying what you've gone through, and there's this problem that like arise, and then you would need help, and they would see it from their different perspective, and they would give you their input. So it's always helpful to have that kind of connection. So you need to keep it going during these times, and try as much as you can to shift your mindset as well. Like, I mean, trying in that sense, we were talking about, like, you need to look at things in a different perspective and look at it from more positive side as much as we can. We're going to, it's not going to be easy, but this too shall pass, like they say.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I was just thinking as well, when you were talking, sometimes when you actually do a video call, like what we're doing now, you have the opportunity, most of our day is spent from inside our head looking out from our eyes. So obviously, unless there's some new technology that I don't know about yet, but you know, like if the video wasn't there and I was talking to you, I'm looking through my eyes, and I do not necessarily connect what's going on in here and what's going on in my heart with the fact that I am this physical body. When you do a video call, suddenly now, I mean, I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at you, and I'm kind of like, this is really crazy. I'm looking outside of myself, at myself, looking back at myself. You know, it's kind of, but what it does is,
I love that.
Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity to be like, oh, do I look like that? Oh, I can't remember. No, oh, do I not? You know, does my head move like that? You know, and I think what is so cool with video calling is that not only do you get to connect with the person that you are talking to because you can see them, but you also have this really crazy, bizarre opportunity to connect with you, yourself, and what it is that you look like. And now suddenly, for the first time, you know, we're looking at ourselves from an outsider's perspective, but we're not. It's like this really kind of crazy space.
I like how you portrayed that, but it is very interesting.
Yeah. So I just had this bizarre thing where this platform is such a beautiful way of connecting to people, and then a whole bunch of other people to us, but it is also serving to help us to connect with ourselves when we're watching ourselves. And I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I wonder if anyone else does, you know, has made this connection. But, you know, if we were videoing our family, I know for myself, before I started this this initiative is I would not have picked up a video call before, because I'm like, oh no, I don't want them to see me. I don't want to, you know, I'll just be like, oh, I'll text you rather. This will be okay. You know, we'll keep you at a distance and all that. Or the phone would ring and I'd be like, oh man, I can't answer that right now. I'm so busy. But now we're in this space where everything's slowed down, and I'm now connecting with myself through talking to you. And I am now connecting in a totally different way to what I would have done last week. And so
Yes, exactly.
aren't we now giving ourselves this amazing opportunity to just calm the hell down, stop moving as fast, and let's connect with each other? You know,
Totally.
doesn't that just feel like
It feels surreal.
yeah. And therefore, isn't COVID-19 serving to help us all to connect more, or in a better way than what we were before?
I totally agree.
Mm.
I think it was the universe's way of telling us to slow down, probably because we were rushing in a very manic manner. Even to our earth, like we weren't serving the earth at all in our, you know, everyday actions.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at it, seeing, this is what I meant with the shifting your mindset. If you look at it, that we might have slowed down, we might have, you know, lost a lot of jobs, but it might be only temporary. But look at the earth, it's healing itself again. We were at this stage, you know, we wouldn't have anything left for us to live. Like now the earth is back, is healing itself back again. You know, the in Italy, they said they are seeing the fish in the canal and all these things. So, and the smog has lifted off all these cities all around the world. So that's a positive look as well. Like that COVID has slowed us down, made us really get connected again within and with everyone else in a different manner. Now we, as you said, we are stopping, we are actually noticing things that we weren't talking to each other and appreciating the little things that we never before had appreciated. And during that time as well, the earth is healing itself. So I think we do have some positives out of this situation. But it's all about how you look at it.
Yeah, and my belief is that everything is energy, right? The trees are energy, the soil is energy, the air is energy, we are energy, our cars are energy. I mean, you only have to, you know, look, I studied Newton's laws, you know, and they were always like, a table only feels hard because they're vibrating at us, you know, all the little atoms in the wood are vibrating at such a high frequency that it's so hard. And water, you know, blah, blah, blah. I can't really remember too much, but I just remember that everything was energy. And so if the very earth that we've been on, if it is now healing and if it is now re-energizing and it is getting into a vibrating at a healing stage, right, then we are then going to be affected by this energy. And if we can be affected by it, maybe we start being different. Maybe we start treating each other with kindness and ourselves with kindness, you know. Maybe we start to think differently because now we're feeling a bit more healed. Maybe we don't focus so much on materialistic things.
Exactly.
Sure, we still have to, but maybe just not as much. Maybe now we focus more on love or compassion or kindness, because that is what the earth's energy brings to us, if we want to talk about that, you know. So I think it was almost like it had to happen.
It had to happen.
We just didn't know about it, and now we're in shock about it. But actually, if we kind of step back and we look at it, we can be like, it was coming. We've had earthquakes, we've had tsunamis, we've had flooding in Australia, we've had fires in Australia. You guys have been hit hard by it, you know, like really hard. So what is going on with the earth? Why is all this happening? And then we weren't listening. COVID-19 was like, we're not only going to hit China and Italy and France, we're going to hit every single one of you guys, because we need this to be on a global scale so that you guys all just stop.
Exactly. And understand now the whole issue.
Yeah. you know,
Mm.
and then we can approach this from a place of peace and trust that we are going to be looked after through this process if we take the steps that we feel inside to actually do what it is that we need to do, or what we've been called to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Rania, if anybody was really keen to get a hold of you, you've got a website, Wellbeing with Rania, RANIA.com.
Yes.
Now, we understand that this is in design, so, you know, we're not going to be critical or anything of your website. You've got one, and that's fantastic. Is that the best way for anybody who's interested in your services to get hold of you for now?
Yes, or they can also like my Facebook page. It's with the same name, Wellbeing with Rania, Life and Health Coach. And they can also contact me through there. As you said, my website is still a work in progress. So probably when they're trying to book online, they cannot do that yet. But there's the contact us form that they can fill, and I'll definitely get back to them shortly. And anyone who would like to fill, anyone who will fill the contact us form will receive an ebook, a free ebook from me on 3 different subjects, depending on what they want it for. So it's either anti-aging tips or how to lose that extra weight that you have and when nothing else is working. And the third one is the how to double your energy in 3 different ways. So thank you for this opportunity, Laura, and we're trying to all do our part in this equation and situation. But what we are trying to all show or transmit is that we are all in this together, and we need to be kind to one another, and we need to look at it from a different perspective. So it's all about shifting your mindset, and we'll get there. And please always reach out for help. We are all here for each other. And yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much for that key message, Rania. I think that's such a beautiful way to end. You know, together we are strong. We will get through this. We are all here to help each other. We are shifting our mindsets. We are doing what we can at the best rate and with the best knowledge that we can right now, and we're all learning from this. So Rania, thank you so much, all the way from Australia. Just keep your chin up, just keep doing that amazing work that you're doing with your special needs children, and as you say, perhaps lockdown will be the best thing for you. We'll wait and see, but please do keep in touch. It's been amazing talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thing. Thank you, Laura. Thank you everyone for watching as well.
Yeah, bye for now.
Bye.